Here's the industry secret on the rules of good writing. There aren't any. At best, we've got some rough guidelines and a budding standard of ethics, but nothing is rigidly right or wrong, not even punctuation. The internet has become an invaluable resource for all these guidelines and standard of ethics, but for as much useful information there's also a lot of content that speaks with such authority that it feels like there are invisible writing rules, in the same way that social norms are invisible rules. Writing norms, basically. Stephen King once said the road to hell is paved with adverbs, but I would like to amend this statement by borrowing a dialogue tag from his novel, The Mist. The road to hell is paved with adverbs, he said ponderously. And for the record, skittered busily and floated soggily are also featured in The Mist. It makes you wonder if Stephen King just doesn't like adverbs, or if he might not be the best at utilizing them, which is why he considers it to be evident of weak writing. My point is that even those considered to be the best writers of our time don't follow writing norms, even the norms they themselves have brought to the storyteller's seat. I have a BFA in creative writing and a minor in world religion and game design. In simple terms, I spent a lot of time studying how different stories in different mediums are made and how society interacts with them. After my years of study, I have concluded that if I am to accept there must be concrete writing rules, then there is only one, and it doesn't contradict the concept of writing rules being understood as writing norms. Therefore, the only writing rule I think actually exists is the following: you can write anything that you can get away with. The idea that you can write anything that you can get away with implies that writing rules are actually writing norms, and while following the norms is considered acceptable and promises more success than not following them, you can break writing norms nevertheless and still be intellectually fulfilled as the storyteller or as the audience. There's nothing wrong with adhering to writing norms because a lot of writing advice that Western society has agreed upon as norms are more helpful than hurtful. These are rules like don't start the story waking up in the morning, and don't switch tenses in the middle of the chapter. End your sentences with a period, and don't describe yourself in the mirror. Only use semicolons if you're 80 years old or are a pretentious writing snob. When my college professor gave me this advice, it broke my understanding of writing off the good versus bad binary to something more like weak versus strong. I've always believed that anyone who is trying to tell a story can tell it, you just need more drafts. So even writing I consider weak because the author didn't get away with parts of it could become strong writing because anything that failed for me as a audience member could be improved upon or discarded to make the story stronger. Now, this is inherently subjective. What I think a storyteller did and did not get away with is going to be different than what you think a storyteller did or did not get away with. And the best part of looking at storytelling like this is that it helps clarify the difference between weak writing and writing that just isn't to your personal taste. I don't like the ending of The Mist, the movie, not the book. But it's not because the screenwriter didn't get away with it. I'm just exhausted by postmodern cynicism. The screenwriter changed the ending in the movie from the book, and Stephen King loves the movie ending for its anti-Hollywood sentiments, something that I can intellectually agree with. He got away with the ending, but I don't personally like it, and just because I don't like it doesn't make it a bad ending. All of this is to say that writing norms fascinate me, because ever since I'd been given this new way to evaluate storytelling, I have wanted to know, what does it take to make every don't do this writing advice work? How do you get away with what the writing norms often condemns? What does it take to make waking up in the morning work as an opener instead of being an eye roll? Imagine we're in a junkyard with hundreds of broken down cars, and each car represents a bad trope, cliche, or writing sin. What this series is attempting to do is pick a car, figure out what's broken and missing, and search through the junkyard for spare car parts to make this one turn on, and maybe if we're lucky, get it to drive us to the bookstore and back. Welcome to Junkyard Writing. I'm your host, Erin Maria, with a BFA in creative writing and a whole junkyard to go through. But we're gonna go through it together, one car at a time.